So let's start with an example. So if I give this task to any human, what any human person, or even if it is give this task to you, what you will do? First, you will think. So what you will think? You will first go to Google, then you will check various hotels or flight rates in Goa. What are the different activities happening in Goa? Next is, you will decide based on your budget, based on the timing, which flight is coming under a budget, or which activities you can perform in the Goa. Third thing is taking action. After you finalize everything, you will go book the flight and you will book the hotel as well, and if possible you can book some of the activities as well. So you are performing any certain task given to you in 3 steps: think, decide and action. Now you think of an LLM system that is capable of independently performing all these tasks on your behalf by designing its own workflow and utilizing available tools and external knowledge. This is what an agent is. So what to mention? 2 things. Independently performing tasks. Independently. So the AI agents should perform tasks independently. And we mentioned 2 more terms. One is workflow. Another is tools. So these are the 3 main important concepts. It should be independently perform workflow using tools. What is workflow? Workflow is a sequence of steps that must be executed to meet the user goals. So workflow is the sequence of steps. These are the systems where LLMs and tools are arranged through a predefined code paths. And next is tools. Tools are external systems. What are these? These are external systems. What do you mean by external system? External APIs, external functions, or it can be, for example, web search, for example, calling a calculator Python function to do a certain task, for example, calling a SQL database API. So tool refers to the external system with which LLM models interact to access outside data on which LLM has not been trained upon, that will help the system to gather context and take action. Sometimes, many times, this is also called as function calling, because many people get confused between the tools and function calling. So for example, checking tomorrow's flight rate or checking the hotel availability next week in the Goa. These things cannot be done by simple LLMs. These things has to be taken of the external helps. Now, let's take a simple chatbot or simple LLM we have, to which I am giving questions. I'll ask some question, I'll get some answers. So what this system will call us? This is simple prompt engineering. I am asking some questions. Maybe I give some instructions here and get some answers. But is this the agentic AI? No. And to this LLM, I added some external documents, some external PDFs. These are external, on which LLM has not been trained upon. So when I combine this external PDF with LLM, this is called as retrieval augmented generation, or the RAG system. Now coming to our 2 important concepts we discussed above. What is that? Workflow and tools. So let me add one tool here, web search. So now if I ask the question, what is today's temperature? So now the system, LLM, can do the web search and can give the answer. But is it the agent? No. This is called as tool augmented system. Tool augmented system. Now let me add the last part, workflow. Let me keep two LLMs in a chain. This is LLM1, this is LLM2. First LLM, let it check the flight price. And second LLM, let it second LLM, let it book the flight. So to the same system, I added a workflow. So now if I ask a question, I want to book my flight or I want to plan my trip to Goa. So first LLM will check the flight price with the help of web search. And similarly, second LLM may book the flight, may with the help of API of, let's say, any travel agent. Okay, for example, Make My Trip. It takes the API of Make My Trip and book the flight for you. So now it has everything. Even you can add one more LLM and you can ask some external questions on the external documents. Is it still an agent? Still it's not an agent. Why? It has the tool, it has the workflow, even it able to perform RAG, it's performing prompt engineering, it's performing everything. Why it's still not an RAG? Because it is not autonomous. It is not able to create the workflow on its own without the intervention of human. Then when exactly we call a system as agentic AI system? So any AI system, or we can say any autonomous AI system to be specific, any autonomous AI system which can perform these following three tasks. What's first is goal oriented planning. Second is multi-step reasoning. We'll just go through all these concepts. And third is autonomous decision making. If any AI system is able to perform these three tasks without human intervention or human supervision, without the involvement of human, if any AI system is able to perform these three tasks, then it can call as AI agent. Then what is goal oriented planning? If you remember, initially I told, if I give any task to any human, it will do in three steps: think, decide and action. You can correlate that with these three steps. So goal oriented planning is somewhat similar to think. So what is goal oriented planning? When a system builds its own workflow by breaking down the target goals into smaller manageable steps and sequencing them logically, having some logic. So next step is multi-step reasoning, that you can think as plan or planning stage. So it will, here the AI system will think step by step on how to perform a certain task. First it will think how I can search the flight rate for tomorrow. In the second step it will search how to book the flight. So these are the step by step reasoning. And third step is autonomous decision making. Autonomous means without human supervision, without taking my confirmation. If the system knows that it need to search the flight, it will go and do a web search and get the flight rate. And at the next step, when it do the multi-step reasoning, it's multi-step, right? First step, it thinks, what is the first step? Checking the flight price. In second step, it will book the flight. So this is two step, and it is able to perform this task without the human supervision, then it is called as an agent. So agent can perform this certain task without human supervision autonomously. How? By giving LLM to access external tools and knowledge towards achieving that particular goal. Now let's see what are the different components of an AI agent or agentic AI. So we will see different the components of an AI agent. It's important to think about agent not just as a single component, but it's a system of many components. And there are main 7 components of an AI agent or agentic AI. At the base level, there are main 3 components. Environment. Environment is the space or the system where AI agent works. For example, for this travel booking AI agent, the environment is the travel booking website or app it uses to finish a task. So if you want to perform certain tasks, you need an environment, you need a space where you can do those jobs. Similarly, AI agent need an environment. AI agent need those websites, AI agent need those apps. So you need to create those environments or those setups for the system to do tasks autonomously. So second is sensors. Just like our eyes and ears collect information, similarly, AI agent used sensors to get details about the environment or the current state of the environment. For example, in travel booking system, agent can sense or read things like hotel availability or flight ticket price from its environment. Because I gave them websites, I gave them APIs. So from those APIs, from this website, it will collect the information. So those APIs are acting as sensors, which will give the information to the AI system. Then third is actuators. After understanding the information, AI agent can take action to perform something in the environment. For example, it should book the flight. It should book the hotel. Or it should actually book a room in a hotel for you. So this is what actuators, where you are performing certain tasks, performing certain operation in the environment using the information collected from the sensors. So these are the basic components of any AI agent you use. So now there are some more advanced components by which you should not able to perform advanced level tasks. With this you can perform any basic level or any task. These are the must. Fourth is tools integration. Tool or API integrations with knowledge base. What is knowledge base? External database system, external documents, tool uses, external systems or external functions or database APIs, or for example here make my trip APIs. So this allow agents to go beyond just doing text replies and actually do real world tasks. Hey, can you pull data for me? Even, hey, can you send me emails? Can you run code? Can you search databases or even control some devices? Because LLM cannot send an email in the Outlook, or it cannot run your Python code. It can create Python code for you, but it cannot run and generate the output. For that, you need an external Python system or Python editor. To connect that Python editor to the LLM system, you need a API integrations, or you need a tool call, or to collect the databases from the SQL DB or MySQL DB. You need a API which will go and collect the information and give back that to the LLM. Then LLM can answer any questions you are asking on the databases. So Here what you can have? You can have REST APIs, you can have databases, you can work with different files, even you can work with third-party systems. For example, Google Drive, Python editor. These are all third-party systems. Or even your Outlook, right? Sending email in Outlook. Then your fifth is memory. Again, it can be both short term and long term. Agents can remember things across different tasks and sessions. Otherwise, I asked them to book the flight. So it should remember that first step, it is checking the flight price. And once it remember the flight price, next it should know that my goal is to perform flight booking. So I did the flight price check. Now I should go and book the flight. For that, it need to remember the past interactions. It may be across tasks, it may be across sessions. You can implement everything using any of the agentic AI frameworks available. And then the final one, which is the most important one, is self-refining, and simply we can call it as learning stage. Because agents don't just take actions, it also improve themselves. Because it never guarantees that it performs the correct action in the first iteration. So at the complete of every iteration, once it think, plan and perform the action, it always check, did I solve the problem correctly? Did I get the correct answer? Or if not, it will adjust in the next time. How it can adjust? Here, one of the most key technique is reinforcement learning. The final component is collaborative. Collaborative means one agent has to interact with other agents. Let's take the same example of travel planner. Here you can have one financial advisor. Your planning is going within the budget or not. Second can be a travel planner, which will book the flight, which will book the hotel rooms, or which will book your activities. So you have two advisors. Those will work combinedly to perform certain tasks. Now let's go to one of the important agentic architecture, that is React. This is combination of two terms. Re, which represents reasoning, and act, which represents action. So React is an agentic architecture that uses reasoning and acting framework. Means it combines reasoning, that is chain of thought of reasoning, and taking actions. Acting means taking actions with the help of external tools. So using chain of thoughts, it will do the reasoning part, it will plan, it will decide, and through the help of external tool, it will perform certain task. The React framework, it helps or it enhances the ability of LLM to handle complex to complex tasks and decision making in agentic workflows. It is a very important step in the evolution of GenAI beyond mere simple conversational chatbots or towards complex solving problems. So it has three important steps. So let's take, this is the user. So first step is, or this is the query. First step is reason, or also we can call this as decision making. Next step is act, which is action. And there will be a final step, that is observation. And if so, first step is decision making step or reasoning step. So it is a thinking step. The AI agent here use chain of thought of reasoning. LLMs act like a brain here. It understands the problem, it creates a plan and decides which models or tool I need to use to perform this task. It can also use techniques like RAG to pull data from private source, or I need to do external API search, or I need to connect to some of the external Python functions or code editors. So it has to think here. So in the action step, it will take the action. Once the plan is ready, the agent takes action. Action can be things like calling API or search engine, or reading a document, or sending some code. So here agent actually do task. Don't just plan. And sometimes to keep the self, we use guardrails. What we use? We use guardrails. Guardrails is very important concept here, and we'll cover this in some of the next video and details on guardrails. It will prevent agent some performing on some unreasonable task or some harmful task. This will make the agent more safer. Then finally is observation. In observation, after taking the action, the agent checks what happened. Did the step work, or do I need more info? Should I change my plan, or I got the final answer? So if the agent thinks it got the final answer, it will give you the final answer. But if agent thinks my observation is not correct, or it is not aligning towards my final goal, then it will loop back to the reasoning step. It will again think, it will again take the action, and then again it will observe. So let me show you one of the example here. So you can take these questions. So here they are making 4 steps. First is standard, just asking questions, getting answer. Second is only using chain of thoughts. Here they are only using chain of thoughts. And this is the third step where they are only using act. Means it will only can perform task, or it can only use tools. And fourth is react, reasoning plus action. If you see in this image, reason only, or what is we call as chain of thoughts, suffers from the misinformation, which is also marked in the red, as it is not grounded to the external environment to obtain and update knowledge. So it is giving only on the limited internal knowledge on which LLM is got trained upon. While act only suffers from the lack of reasoning. Although it has access to the outside environment, still due to the lack of reasoning, it is not able to give you the final answer. In contrast, react, which is combining the chain of thought reasoning plus action, is giving you a final correct answer. So this is one of the example which I collect from the React research paper. React prompting. Let's understand how you can write a prompt to create this React agent. So to write a proper prompt for the React agent, first you need to guide the model how to use chain of thoughts reasoning. Prompt the model to reason. Second is you need to define actions. And third is you need to give instructions. You need to give instructions to model or LLM how to make observations. And fourth is loop. I think these three are pretty self-explanatory. Fourth is loop. In loop, you will instruct the model to repeat the previous steps if necessary. So here you need to add the instructions when and how the model should loop itself. You have to provide certain conditions. You have to provide some exit conditions as well. If you are not getting the answers, suppose running for 5 to 10 times, you have to exit. You have to give it the whatever the final answer you have. It may be the wrong. Then fifth is final answer. How to give the final answer. So you need to give all these steps in a prompt. You need to keep all these steps in a prompt. How the model use a chain of thoughts. You need to provide chain of thoughts to the model. You need to define what action it should take. You need to give instruction how to make observations, how to evaluate its response. And also, this is the most important. If the observation is not correct, how it will loop itself, how it will go back to the reasoning step again. And fifth one, if the model thinks it has the final correct observations, how it will give the final answer, in which way, in which format, is JSON format, simple text format, or which format. It is giving you how to use chain of thoughts, how to define action, how to loop, when to loop, how to give the final answer. If you see here, this is, you can have the access to following tools. It is telling you will have access to the following tools you can use. Use the following format. This is your thought, action, and observations. It is giving it. It's a very simple. The prompt for the big agent will be very big. It will be across multi pages. I am just giving a sample. What will be the thought, how it will give the final answer, how it will repeat itself, okay, how it will take the action, how it will think for a simple given questions, and how it will give the final response. Now let's see some of the use cases. One is talent acquisition agent in the HR domain, and other is the travel planner agent. I have already explained both these use cases in full detail with a GitHub repo in my video Top 6 GenAI Use Cases. That video also covers 2 RAG projects and 2 NLP projects, so total 6 solid GenAI projects for your data science portfolio. If you are so serious about building your data science AI portfolio 2025, you should not miss this video. The link is in the description below, and you can also find it above. Go and save it right now. We can see some of the other use cases. For example, customer agents. Delivering personalized customer experience by understanding customer needs, answering questions, resolving customer issues, or recommending right products. Best example is GitHub Copilot, code agents that help in software development by AI-enabled code, by generating and coding assistance. Cursor, best example of the coding agents. And in the upcoming video in this generative AI playlist, we will cover different types of agents, different agentic architectures, different agentic framework like LangChain, LangGraph, CrewAI, AutoGen, and also we'll cover different agentic protocols. For example, A to agent, agent to agent protocol, MCP protocol, or agent communication protocol. Also we'll cover few specific topics like agentic RAG, multi-agent and different types of multi-agent, and also we will see how we can do agentic evaluation. Tell me in the comment which topic you want me to cover next. If you learned something new today, just type level up in the comments. Don't forget to save and share this video with your friends. And if you have not subscribed yet, please subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to stay tuned with upcoming video. And yes, let's also connect on LinkedIn. I keep sharing data science tips and career advice in there too. Till then, keep learning, keep coding, and keep growing. Thank you.